Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Transformation Coach, Irene Titima Kirimani. I am so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be doing again this video. I'm glad to do every single video, to be honest, because there's a time I thought I was not able to do this. There's a time I thought I could not sit and record a smooth video. So every time I come out and it goes well and I can upload it, I can edit it, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity every other time that I do it. So my YouTube videos are every fortnight now, but over the next couple of weeks, we're going to do like an information overload. I've just finished my first long project in January, which was the 15 days of transforming into your purpose, which I did alongside Ralph Kabukadurira, and it was so exciting. So we're going to be sharing all the videos on my YouTube page again for everyone who could not access them via Facebook. So I'm super excited about that. But let's get straight into it. So your transformation coach, basically she's running with transforming your mind and to eventually transform myself, to transform your mind and to transform our lives so that we are fully present in what God has given us and what God has blessed us with. So today I am here to share with you something that I've tried in the month of January. I really said I am only going to share this if I actually do it, because I didn't want to come and say, you know guys, we need to be waking up at 5 a.m. blah 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 when I haven't actually tried it. And I tried it and I am purely enjoying it. I will not lie to you, it's hard, it's tiring. I went through a mini burnout, but I tell you, I wouldn't replace it for anything, because it's giving me time to do everything that I want and everything that I love. I actually get time to record my videos and not feel bad that my audit work is suffering, or my 3 jobs is suffering, or I'm taking time away from something else. I'm here because I get time to be here. I've planned for time to be here. So just a heads up over the video, if you hear someone shouting, we're neighbors, my parents are at home, so they could call me because I didn't communicate that I'm about to start recording. So bear with me. So I'm here to share with you guys how I transformed my life. To be honest with you, I've transformed my life over the past, today's day 34, and I am super chuffed at what I've managed to achieve, and I'm also super grateful to God that I've managed to do this. So I want to come and share it with you guys, so that for those who can, please try it out. Please try it out. I started waking up at 5 a.m. So this was after I read the 5 a.m. Club. This was my second time reading that book. I had read it before, and I was so glad I read it the first time, and it was an exciting story. I read it like a novel. So I was going through it and I was reading. I was like, okay, this is nice. But I never actually managed to implement anything from the first time I read it. So I said, okay, Irene, you now have the hard copy. Sit down and go through it thoroughly. Sit down and plan for it. So I read it in December, because I was like, okay, I want to start on the 1st of January to implement the 5 a.m. Club. So basically the program basically what Robin Sharma has done in the book is that he has said, if you want to eventually make it a habit and part of who you are, is you need to do it for 66 days. So I'm just on day 34, so just barely past the halfway through. So I'm super excited to be sharing what I've learned over the past couple of days, which has actually been a month. So in the month of January, on the very 1st of January, I said, okay, you know what, we're going to be waking up at 5 a.m. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it. But I was a part of me, because I'd read the book a bit more intentionally this time, and I was keen to try out everything that I'd read. I went out for it. So first day, I set my alarm. I was up and I was like, yes, well done. But I didn't apply what he said we need to do between 5 and 6. I said, because I'm trying to dive into this new routine, let's try it out how we think we can try it out. So I woke up, I read my Bible, I picked up a book to read. I had started on my January book then, so I started reading that, and I was trying to catch up on the book that I was reading. So I did that for a couple of days, and then eventually I started waking up and saying, okay, I need to do what he said we need to do in the hour, which is the 20-20-20 rule, where you do 20 of exercise, 20 of meditation, and 20 of reading something related to your field. So it's really like a wholesome hour and I thought it was exciting, so I did it a couple of days, and eventually I started my 21-day fast under Transformation Church. And so I was waking up and I was following the devotional plan, but still I was trying to find myself. I was trying to plan it in such a way that I could do 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of, so I started jumping jacks. Like I would do squats just to get my body pumping, but I still had a fitness program that I was doing in January, so I still said, okay, I'll do that in that first hour, but at 6 o'clock I pick up the proper routine that I'm supposed to do so that I could see results at the end of the month. Because really jumping jacks for 20 minutes won't really, I don't think it would do much change to your body and to the change that I wanted to see in my, like the transformation I wanted to see at the end of the month. So I still said I'll create time for that. So before this, like in 2020, I think when it ended, I was doing what I loved, but I always felt like I wasn't doing everything that I love. Like I love reading, I love just sitting and praying. I love taking notes when I'm studying the Bible. But now I wasn't getting time to do that. I was just reading my Bible like a verse a day, and I'll be like, okay, good, let's pray, let's go. But I did feel like I was starving my spirit. I was starving me. I was starving me of what I was supposed to be having every morning. So doing that, waking up at 5 a.m. has really helped me to just have time to sit and be in the presence of God. Like when I read, I actually have time to say, God, what are you saying to me? Yes, you say this to Abraham. Yes, you say this to Jacob, but what are you saying to me? So it has been a like I will tell you this, I'm stronger, I'm clearer, I can withhold anything that comes in my day, because I've sort of allowed myself to be me, to fill me up before everyone else starts giving me to-do lists, before I start giving people to-do lists, because I'm doing quite a lot of things right now, but I'm doing what I need to be doing anyway. I won't say it's a lot, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So if you didn't know, your transformation coach is involved in a couple of projects and a couple of initiatives. So I'm doing a proper 8 to 5 job. I'm doing my articles because I want to get my my second degree, which is going to be an accounting degree, because I've already done my first degree, which then led me to a master. So I already have my master's and I'm doing my second degree and then in accounting. And then I also still work for my parents under Wise Owls. That's an exciting project that I still am part of. And I've started the catering company, which is doing Roadrunner meals. Funny thing, story for another day. And I also run a cleaning company. So it's like 5 things that I'm doing on top of all the other coaching initiatives that I do. Like people have started engaging me for one-on-one coaching, or some people have engaged me for group coaching. And just time for me, like me, a whole me is a job. So that's something that I also get time to do. So I could really see that all this wasn't I couldn't do it in a 7. I was waking up around 7. Like last year it was 7, because I needed to be at least on my desk by 8, and I would sleep around 10, 11. But I still could feel that I was feeling starved. So that's why I said, let's try this. And I'm so happy to say that I've actually moved to 4:30. Because I was now waking up a bit earlier. So I was like, okay, let's now formalize it. If you're waking up at 4:30, let's wake up at 4:30. So sometimes it's 4:30, my eyes are open, but I eventually sit at 5, or I sit at 4:45. So it just depends on what time I would have slept the previous day. But I try now and sleep exactly at 11. So 11, and I do try and find like an hour during the day to just snap. Like sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's more, depending on how hectic the day has been. And then when the days and I can sleep early, oh yes, I do sleep early, like 7 o'clock sometimes, or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I can sleep. There are days when I really can't sleep early. I wouldn't recommend this routine to anyone who's trying out. Like, do what you can, but I really want to tell you that waking up at 5 a.m. has really, really helped me transform. It has really, really helped transform my life. Like, I started the year and I knew I had a lot of things to do, and I was like, God, how are we going to do all this? I can't do this on my own. And he was like, you know what, so let's pick up the 5 a.m. So before 6 o'clock, I've prayed, I've read a book, the book for my month, and I'm still going to read it during the day when I have breaks, so when I'm just trying to find something to distract me from maybe a boring task, because it can get very boring sometimes. So I still get time to do that. So it has really helped. So I want to quickly share, I don't want this video to be too long, I want to quickly share with you guys some of the 5 things that really pushed me to the 5 a.m. to be part of the 5 a.m. club. because it's one thing to read the book, but I had to take out statements that were shouting at me, statements that were resonating with me so much. And these 5 were top of my list, but the book is full of gems. Like it's packed. It's packed. Like I can't even explain. It's packed. You literally have to pick it up and read it. You can pick up a soft copy. You can try and buy the book. I think it's now slightly cheaper than it was when it came out, which is a good thing. So the first point I want to share with you guys is that inspiration gets fed by isolation. So I'm a creative and I need to find time to say, okay, God, what do you want us to go and do now? How do I deliver this content better? And if I don't do that, I get stuck in a whirlwind of jealousy or copying or competing. So I always have to get back and say, God, wait, what's my part? So I come back and I get fed. And when I saw the statement, I was like, that's so true, because every time I've come out with a good idea, or even when the Rewrite podcast launched, or now with the transformation coach, it was from isolation. Like it was time I took out to say, God, what are we doing and where are we going? And that's when when he said that, I was like, okay, this is not just a statement that he's saying, but this is a spiritual thing to say. God does really speak to us in isolation, and he speaks to us. And inspiration is really just God showing us parts of ourselves. Is God saying that's who you are. So get inspired to step into who you actually are, and not who you think you are, or who the world has told you that you are. So I thought that was so important, and it excited me. I was like, okay, I need to get that time to be isolated. So I'm even planning out the timeout sessions intentionally now to say, let's get away, like let's be isolated so that we can be inspired to become more of who God has already told us that we are. We are amazing people. We are blessed. We are the head and not the tail. So we need to step into that. So the second point I picked up from the book is that early mornings are an antidote to average. So I was like, yes, I'm not going to be average this year. I'm stepping into my new role, or I'm stepping into who I am as a transformation coach. I want to transform lives. I want to transform my own life. So I'm going to be a transformation coach. And when I read that, I was like, I don't want to be any coach. I want to be the best coach. I want to be I want to be the coach that really does transform lives for people and helps people transform their minds, so that we are fully in line with God's will. So when I read this, that early mornings are an antidote to average, I was like, that is so true. And I can testify to this. Yes, I'm on day 34. I can't wait for the review when I get to day 66, when I can safely say this is now who I am, that I'm a 4:35 a.m. person. And again, just to tell you the truth, guys, no one would have told me. Like, I used to try, if it was not for an early flight, or traveling early, or I needed to inspect something early in the morning, like when I was still working in Maranja, you wouldn't see me waking up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Nope. I used to fight with my dad a lot about it. I was like, I'm not a morning person, I'm an evening person. But now waking up in the morning has transformed my life. It has made me stronger mentally. It has made me closer to God, because now I have undisturbed time. The only person awake when I'm awake is our auntie, and usually she's bathing. She's usually taking her time to settle into a day. She takes her time to really bath in the morning, because like, this is my me time. So that's the only person, and she comes into my room. But during the day, anyone can pop in. So there's so many distractions. So I really thought that was so important. And the other point that I want to highlight is that the sweat more in practice and bleed less in war. I think this is something that we've heard, that when people are about to go to battle, they would have at least practiced in the boot camps, in the barracks. They're preparing and setting up for the war ahead of them. So when I read that, I was like, okay, this is very, very interesting, because it's saying sweat more in practice. So I was like, okay, if I'm waking up at 5 a.m., it's going to be very, very hard, but I need to do it, because that's me sweating in practice, so that when the time actually comes, when I have 1,000 meetings and I have flights to catch and blah blah blah, like all the things that we dream about that are attached to the things, attached to our careers, or attached to our purpose, I want to be ready for it. I don't want to be the person who says, oh, my assistant will wake me up. I want to be up. I want to be ready. I want to show up. I want to be equipped. I want to have God with me. I want to be so set up and ready for the task ahead. The fourth point is that we all come with an expiration date. I think if there's one thing that 2020 taught us, is that we're not here forever. Like, I've been reading up a lot about death and what it means and why it happens, because I'm just like, soon enough, all this is going to be content that people go through and I'm gone. Like, not to be dark, but that's a reality. That's a truth we need to all face, that we all come with an expiration date. So I was like, okay, if I come with an expiration date that I actually don't know, fortunately, like God rubbed that label on off me to say I can't see where my date is. So I said, so I'm going to try and do everything that I think I need to be doing in the moment that I've been given to do it. So if it means building capacity by waking up at 5 a.m., if it means staying up a bit late to clear off a particular to-do list, because I don't know if I'm going to be there tomorrow, and I don't want the video to not come out, or for you guys not to see what I would have done, or for me to not to teach and to coach because I just procrastinated, because we all come with an expiration date. So I think that's like something to inspire someone to say, don't keep postponing what God has given you. Just go for it, implement it. If it fails, start again. Like, because we all come with an expiration date. You don't want to be the person that says, oh, she had so many great ideas, but she never managed to implement all of them. I will do one order in the week, as long as I am doing it and I'm loving it and it makes my weeks flow, and I'm just excited to go through the day, So something to think about as you plan on the things that you keep postponing. Say, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do that another day. My last point, which is very, very dear to my heart, is that being exceptional is a journey. This is something that took me so long to understand, but I'm so glad that I'm slowly understanding what it means to say being exceptional is a journey. Because we reread people's biographies, right? And we read them and we're like, oh my gosh, Oprah is there, Tyler Perry is there. Like, there's so many people, but we don't know that it is taking them like 20-30 years to get there. Like, we talk about Cecilia Tyson, I think Celia, okay, I don't remember her full name, but the person who just died recently in the US, like this famous actress, like imagine it was years till she got to being the icon that she was when she died. But when we look at her, we're like, oh, I want to be the best actress, but we don't know how many years it took them. So this is something that also comforts me, and that actually allows me to be excited about waking up every day, because I'm like, I'm a day closer. I'm a day closer to being exceptional. I'm a day closer to being exceptional. I'm a day closer to being I'm an hour closer, because every hour you're investing, every day you're investing into yourself, because you know that being exceptional is a journey. So you don't trivialize a day, you don't trivialize an hour. You look for it, you go in full throttle. Like, you're not like, okay, so let me just try it out and see where it goes. You're really like, okay, I'm doing this because I need to do this, and I want to be exceptional, and this is the first seed, this is the first drop of water for me to be becoming more exceptional. So being exceptional is a journey. So that's something that comforts me, yet it also inspires me that, I'd wake up at 5 a.m. because being exceptional is a journey. So you're a day closer, but also wake up at 5 a.m. knowing that it takes time. So be patient with yourself. So that's something that really, really excites me. Oh, it's so interesting that the sun, okay, if you're watching from the first, you sort of can see what happened. It's getting darker and darker. So when I looked at the sun, I was like, it's already dark. Okay, so these 5 points really are what inspired me to start this journey, to say, I'm gonna try it, I'm gonna fail. There's one day I woke up slightly after 5, but I was like, it's okay, I was tired, but let's pick it up again tomorrow, because I understand that being exceptional is a journey. It will not happen once, it will happen over time. So yeah, so as you know, as a transformation coach, I attach everything that I say with a scripture. So our scripture for today is very interesting and short. It's Psalms 101 verse 8. Every morning I will put to silence all the wicked in the land. I will cut off every evildoer from the city of the Lord. So this was David again. Psalms is it's all David speaking. So this is him saying, every morning I'll put to silence all the wicked in the land. So something that I've learned with waking up at 5, before 5 now. Now it's 4:30, 4:40. I'm up and ready to start the day. One thing that has really inspired that, and that I'm really learning, is that I sort of like I put a shield around my mind and my being before anyone else does, before anyone else comes in with a comment, before I see anything on Instagram, before I open my WhatsApp. I have already put up a shield around my mind. And that's what I'm sort of seeing, that this is what he was also saying, in saying, every morning I'll put to silence all the wicked in the land. Like, all the things that can distract me, I'll put it to silence. I can't take it away. I can't stop messages from coming. I can't stop seeing maybe posts that trigger me, or conversations that can trigger me, but I've put them to silence, so they can't control me, they can't overwhelm me, they can't block what I'm excited about. So that's something that was so interesting to me, and that is something I can totally testify to say it has happened to me. So yes, I go through bad days, yes, I go through tough days. I think the 1st and the 2nd of February I was sick. The first 2 days of February I've been so sick, like my tummy has been acting funny. But I tell you, by the time it does, like, and you thank God it doesn't do it like in the first hour. Like, usually it's after 6 and I started getting sick, like, or just towards 8, and I'm just so sick and I have cramps and all that. And by the time I get there, I'm like, okay, God, we talked about today being a great day, so this is not gonna faze me. I'm gonna go through it. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to make sure that I take my medication. Do I need to go and see a doctor? Do I need to lie down? Do I need to request for an hour off? But I still know that today is going to be a great day. And really, there have been great days. So waking up in the morning has just allowed me to also silence all the things that can easily distract me. And I really like to recommend it. Like, if it can't be 5 a.m. for you, start at 6 a.m. Like, wake up time where you know that everyone else in the house is probably asleep, or get someone, if it's your husband, your wife, like, get someone to wake up with you, and you do even separate things, like read your Bible, set up your mind, prepare yourself for what's ahead, and just tell yourself that it's gonna be a great day before any noise comes your way. Because you want to cut off every evil doer from the city of the Lord, and your city being your body. So you want to cut off everything that can easily distract you, or especially distract you from what God has placed in around you. Like, God wants you to chase a particular target, but because you didn't pray and He didn't give you the strength to go after it, when you actually want to go after it, if you find something that distracts you, you can easily let go of it. But here I'm here to challenge us, guys, that find time. Like, if it can be 4:30, if it can be 5 a.m., like, find time to not be average, to set yourself up for being exceptional. If it's 6 o'clock, let it be. If it's 7 o'clock, let it be. If it's 4:30, let it be. But find time where you guard you, and you put a shield around your mind and around your being, so that nothing that will come your way will distract you from what God has actually predestined for you in the day. Because that's all we're trying to do. All my content is to say, how do we fully stand in what God has given us? How do we transform our minds and how we've seen ourselves and how we've seen experiences to ensure we are fully standing in what God has given us? Because God has given us already everything that we need. He's given us the wealth, the ideas, the creativity, the inspiration, the strength. He's given us everything. But because we've been hurt and been groomed in different systems, we now have to transform. We don't want to be conformed to the patterns of this world, but we want to be transformed by the renewal of our mind. So if waking up in the morning can help you renew your mind, then let's do it. Let's do it. I am super excited that I managed to do this video, and I'm on day 34. I'll be back when I get to day 66, and that's so soon. I didn't know we'll be here now. So we're getting there soon. We'll be on day 40, then 50, then 60, and then 66, and then I'll be back. So from your transformation coach, don't forget to hit me up if you need a one-on-one, and if you need someone to walk the 5 a.m. journey with you, I'm available for you and for everyone who is keen, for a cost. But yes, I'm so excited to walk this journey with you all, and let's see how it goes. We want to be transformed by the renewal of our minds, and if this is going to be one step towards it, why not? Take care, guys.